a live mic, a frustrated coach. Two words that ended up costing her a paycheck and igniting a league-wide conversation. This week, the WNBA suspended a head coach. Not for a technical foul, not for arguing a call, but for something she said about one of the league's biggest stars while the cameras were still rolling. Here's the full story, in order, with everything that's actually been confirmed. If you're new here, this is where we break down the WNBA stories actually worth talking about. No speculation, just what happened and why it matters. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Now, let's get into it. It started during a game between the Atlanta Dream and the Toronto Tempo. Atlanta was cruising, eventually closing the game out by nearly 20 points. Late in the fourth quarter, Tempo forward Nyara Sabally fouled Dream star. Angel Reese after Reese grabbed an offensive rebound. Toronto's coaching staff wasn't happy with the call. They felt Reese had thrown an elbow into Sabally during the play, and Sabally ended up leaving the game. While officials reviewed the sequence, Tempo head coach Sandy Brondello turned toward the officiating crew, clearly frustrated. And that's when the broadcast microphones picked up exactly what she said. She referred to Reese as a protected species, implying in context that Reese was getting favorable treatment from referees. In isolation, in a lot of sporting cultures, that phrase gets used to complain about officiating bias, but that's not how it landed here. Almost immediately, clips of the moment started circulating online, and because Brondello is a 57-year-old white coach commenting on a young black star, the phrase protected species carried a very different weight in the USS than she may have intended. One widely shared post online framed the comment as racially loaded, comparing a black woman to a species, and Angel Reese herself responded directly. She quoted that post and added her own three-word reaction along with a clown emoji, making it clear she saw the comment as disrespectful. From there, it moved fast. Within about 24 hours, the WNBA released an official statement. The league didn't hedge. It called Brondello's comment inappropriate and suspended her for one game without pay, with the league office stating plainly that it expects every coach and staff member to meet a standard of professionalism and respect. That suspension landed on Brondello's very next game, a matchup against the Las Vegas Aces just 2 days later. Now here's where the story gets more layered. Hours before the suspension was even announced, Brondello had already posted an apology, saying she took full responsibility and that her words had caused real hurt to a community she respects. She later expanded on that explanation with reporters directly, saying the phrase is something commonly used in Australian sports environments to express frustration about a lack of foul calls, not a comment about race at all. She pointed out she'd just watched her own player get hurt on the same play and that the comment came out in an emotional moment, not a calculated one. And this part is actually backed up outside her own statement. Several Australian commentators told SN that protected species is a fairly common phrase in Australian sports slang, typically aimed at referees, not players. Brondello herself has coached Australia's national team since 2017, so the cultural context lines up. Whether that context changes how the comment should have landed here in the US is exactly what fans have been debating all week. So how did Reese actually respond once the dust settled? Pretty graciously, honestly. Speaking to reporters the following Sunday, she said she appreciated Brondello's apology, but she also wanted to acknowledge the wave of support she'd received over the previous 48 hours. She said she was grateful the league took action and made a broader point, that there's no room in the league for discrimination or hate, whether it comes from fans, coaches, or players. She closed by saying she just wanted to move forward and get back to playing basketball, especially with her third All-Star selection coming up. No extended back and forth, no drawn-out feud, just a direct acknowledgement, an accepted apology, and both sides moving on, which, if we're honest, isn't always how these stories go. Here's some context that's been missing from a lot of the conversation. This isn't the first time a WNBA coach has been suspended for comments made about a specific player. Back in 2021, then Connecticut Sun head coach Curt Miller was suspended one game and fined $10,000 for an offensive comment he made about center Liz Cambage. So the league does have a track record here. This wasn't a one-off overreaction. It's consistent with how the WNBA has handled similar situations before. So where does this leave things? Brondello served her suspension, issued a public apology, and by all accounts has taken accountability for how the comment landed. Reese accepted that apology and has said she's ready to move forward. The league enforced its standard consistent with past precedent. But the bigger conversation, about intent versus impact, and how quickly a single hot mic moment can become a national story, isn't going away anytime soon. What do you think? Was a one-game suspension the right call, or should it have gone further? Drop your take in the comments. If you want more breakdowns like this the moment real WNBA news drops, hit subscribe, because this league never stays quiet for long.